Hi, my name is Morag and welcome to this video on the Food Safety Hub about customer complaints. Customer complaints is a very important part of food safety. Our number one asset, who are our customers, if there is a complaint that's put in, needs to be treated very seriously. It can affect other stock, other clients or other customers. It could result in a withdrawal or a recall, and it's a very, very important process for continual improvement. So to access that, as you can see, it's a workflow, the customer complaint section on the Food Safety Hub. So that means data can be added to this workflow at numerous time points, and then a final status of complete will close it out. So we've broken this up into three sections. The first one is the product detail. So as much information as we can about whether it's a product, an item, or service, or an event. So depending on how your business operates, whether it's manufacturing or a hotel or a restaurant, that could all be different things. So we enter that information in there. As much information about the product as possible. So when it was produced, when it was consumed, when it was sold, as much information as we can about the product should be input there. If we have an image of the product or even a video, that's also very, very helpful, particularly for more serious complaints. So there's a section there from a mobile phone or from a tablet that can be uploaded, particularly when an investigation's happening and a product is being dismantled. There might be a foreign object or some sort of contamination in the product. So if we can capture that, that is also a good process. The complaint type, whether it's a foreign object, quality complaint, micro, whatever that category might be, we input that in there. The urgency as well, that's quite important, depending on what level of urgency that the complaint has. Also, where the product came from. In some cases, it's a pre-made product, so it comes directly from a supplier, and what that will do is that will trigger the approved supplier list. In this case, we've only got 2 approved suppliers, and it will also load the supplier email in there. So if we're purchasing a whole pre-made product from another supplier, that would be where we put that in. But if it was made in-house, so from various components, that wouldn't be applicable, and we input that information there. So that's the section on the product details. The customer details, when the complaint comes in, whether we have their information or not, it's important so we can contact them. So if we do have their information, their name, phone number, email, and then details about the complaint. So any symptoms they've got, the date and the time of the onset of the illness is very important for us to be able to investigate properly and potentially track down what the cause is, and particularly around micro, that has a big part to play. What type of symptoms and the onset and continuation of those symptoms is very important. So that's the customer details section, and then the investigation by the business. So the investigation that was conducted. So typically we'd be looking at the flow of the product, the associated controls, the cooking controls, whatever it might be, chilling controls around the product, packaging, distribution. So there's an investigation that needs to occur, and we document the outcome of that investigation here. The root cause, it's always important to look at why it happened in the first place, and then implement some initiatives to prevent that from happening again. So that continual improvement cycle is in place, so we document that and of course implement that into the business. Any associated information around the investigation, so if there were some tests carried out, some microbiological testing of a product, for example, or other images or other documentation associated with that can also be uploaded here. We can associate more than one file there, and then a final message to the customer. So this report can be sent straight out to the customer from the hub. So basically that's documenting any sort of message that we'd like to send them. and then to close it down. So typically this would take some time. It wouldn't normally happen all in the same instance. So if we, with the status, if we maintain that as being in progress, that would maintain that customer complaint active, and we could come back and insert information where it became available, particularly around the investigation. So this would only be closed out once all of that was complete. And once that happens, once we were satisfied with the investigation process, if we select complete, and then we've got some email options here. So whether we want the report to be sent out to the customer, in some cases that's appropriate, other cases perhaps not. And if there's some other email address, if you wanted to send it to yourself, or some other email address or addresses that can be sent as well from the system. So that's the customer complaint system for the Food Safety Hub.